Hi guys, welcome to the HSBC Lighthouse series. How's everyone doing today? Firstly, thank you so much for joining us. So life is a constant learning experience, right? Whether it's figuring out how to change a light bulb or cooking something new or probably even learning a new language. We're constantly or always educating ourselves. That's the very theme of the HSBC Lighthouse series: to learn, to upskill, and to grow. The Lighthouse series is an effort to support you both in your personal as well as professional growth. Now, the very foundation of growth is based on this one word: curiosity. Curiosity is the very reason we come up with great ideas and also technological leaps. It is also the very root of the Lighthouse series. We want to give you some amazing pearls of wisdom that will help you not only in your career, but in your personal life as well. My name is Varun Agarwal, and I'm your host for today. I am an entrepreneur, author, and public speaker. I'm also the founder and CEO of Mentor, which is India's first celebrity-driven educational platform. In this episode of the Lighthouse series, we will be talking about career planning and upskilling. And to do that, we have a very, very special guest with us. We have Mehar Sindhu Batra, who is a career coach as well as the founder of MSB Vision. MSB Vision is basically an organization that helps empower young individuals to realize their true potential and accelerate their career growth. Welcome to the Lighthouse series, Mehar.
Thanks so much, Varun. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, guys, we'll get on with the first episode. And the first episode, as you know, is about upscaling and learning. Why is upskilling become such an important buzzword in 2021? Why is everybody talking about upskilling so much? Well, the short answer is digital transformation, right? Now, the digital economy, fueled by technological advancements, has changed the very dynamic in which goods are bought and sold, and also changed the very dynamic in which the producer and the consumer react with each other. To be competitive in the digital age, both organizations and people alike need to have a lifelong learning mindset. And which is why our first episode is based on upskilling and career planning. And we hope to have a power pack session in which we hope to answer all your questions about career planning and upskilling. So come to you, Mehar. What do you think is really crucial for career planning?
First of all, Varun, I agree with everything you just said. With the pandemic and digital transformation, everything has changed so drastically in the last few years. And I think to answer your question, it all down to having the right mindset, right? Remembering that your career is actually a journey that you're on. It's not a destination that I'm going to, clear one set of exams, then my career is set. Or if I'm going to get a job in one particular dream organization and then I'm set for life. It's about remembering that, you're on a journey. It's not just reaching one point. It's actually learning on the go as you are on this journey. So it's not a short-term pursuit. It's actually remembering that there is a long way to go and defining who you are and iterating that again and again based on, how you're growing as an individual, because your goals may change, your dreams may change, your abilities will evolve. So that's why you have to focus on planning and upskilling to stay relevant because of all the changes that are happening in the industry and personally to you as well. So I think for this kind of mindset, you have to think of it as activating the growth mindset. So what exactly is the growth mindset? It's actually this phrase has been coined by Dr. Carol Dweck, and she's written a book called The Mindset, which I really would recommend everybody reading. So here she talks about how, learning is an ever evolving process, and there are two types of mindsets, growth and fixed. And if you have the growth mindset, you will constantly think of becoming a better version of yourself. You'll constantly keep challenging yourself to think of think of your skills that can evolve, not just only rely on your natural talents, right? So developing your skills and abilities rather than just thinking about, no, I've been born this way, this is the way I am. So that's how you have to think of your profession as well. Let's say you're at work and you get stuck at something. There's always something that you can do by yourself. You can do maybe a course on so many platforms that are available now with lots of free courses on them. Like there's lynda.com, LinkedIn Learning. There's also Coursera and edX that have free courses. So it's about how much of time you dedicate to your self upskilling. So I think that's what one has to remember, that it's all in our hands. And also there's a lot of learning that happens on a job while we are going to work as well. You can observe how your seniors are conducting conversations, how they're dealing with clients, how they're dealing with problems, and you can try and adapt the way they are dealing with things and try and reflect that in your own personality at work. So I would really say that take the example of Sundar Pichai, who's now the CEO of Alphabet. But he joined Google as just a product management lead in 2004. It took him 11 years to reach the position of a CEO. And he always says this, one of the rules of success is always to find opportunities to reinvent yourself. Take risks, have the right mindset, have some level of risk taking and optimism into your mindset. And that's how you'll keep growing as an individual. And Varun, I just want to end with this one quote that I really love, which is it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude, right? So how are you showing up to work? What is the mindset that you have is really important.
That is really, really well said, Mehar. I think I totally agree with that. Considering being an entrepreneur, I think a growth mindset is not only important just for your professional life as well, but also for your personal life. Adding on to the growth mindset, I really want to talk about something which is known as entrepreneurship. Now, I know the whole world is talking about entrepreneurship, and that seems to be on everybody's mind. But I think entrepreneurship is something that everybody should be talking about as well. And it's directly related to growth mindset. So what is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is basically having an entrepreneurial mindset while working within an organization, which means you have the courage and the flexibility to think out of the box while working within an organization. Now, I know most of you guys must be thinking that's not possible. Come on. I mean, you can't do that while working in an organization. You can't try to be an entrepreneur while working within an organization. But not only is that possible, there are stories abound of how many people have changed the very direction of their organization by being entrepreneurs within their companies. One of my favorite stories is of Ken Kutaragi. Ken Kutaragi was a junior level executive in Sony in the mid-90s. He loved gaming and, he loved playing video games with his daughter. In those days, Nintendo was a leader in the video game space. So he used to play video games on Nintendo with his daughter. But he used to always wonder, why doesn't Sony have a gaming console? So he approached his managers, he approached his seniors, and he told them that, we need a gaming console. But Sony was busy selling televisions and Walkmans, and then nobody really bothered about gaming consoles. But Ken had a very strong entrepreneurial mindset, so he did not give up. He kept going at it. He developed a prototype. He even got a meeting with the CEO who gave him some resources in order to develop the prototype. The prototype became known as the Sony PlayStation. The Sony PlayStation is now one of the highest selling items by Sony. And Ken went on to become the CEO and chairman of Sony eventually. So having a strong entrepreneurial mindset while working within a company can really change the direction of not just your career, but that of the organization as well. And the greatest thing that comes out if you try to have an entrepreneurial mindset while working with an organization is a strong personal brand. Mehar, I want to ask you, how important is personal brand for one's career?
I think, Varun, no matter what you're doing, what professionally, you do have a brand associated with yourself, which we don't really think about too much very often. So, we are all the CEO of this thing called Me Inc., right? How we are showing up, how we are pitching in for a project, for example. And I really love this quote by Jeff Bezos. And he says, your personal brand is actually what people say about you when you're not in the room. And, that's what we need to be thinking about. How are we showing up? So I think what happens is that when we're in the early years of our careers, we are really in that absorbing mode, like we want to learn as much as we can. So we try to be the jack of all trades, right? We want to be good at everything because we're literally in that learning mode. But what happens is as we progress in our career, we learn and learn things around us. And we also find we need to find what we want to be good at, right? Like, what do we want to be known for? There could be one or two things that, okay, Varun is known for project management in his team. If we want someone to, be leading this project really well, we should go to Varun. If Varun was known for data analytics also, marketing also, project management also, the manager, when they're deciding which project should Varun be focusing on, can get a little confused. So having that clarity of what exactly is Varun's niche is very important. So I think I really would recommend, everybody just think about, self-reflect a little bit and pick out a couple of things that you want to be known for, pick out your niche and start developing them really well. And talking about entrepreneurship, that you just shared such a wonderful story about Sony, really inspiring. I think that's what one also needs to start thinking about when they are a part of a team, when they're part of, in a day-to-day working project, for example. You need to start thinking of the bigger picture. Your expertise and knowledge needs to be showcased in the right manner for a project, on a project, for you to be considered to be a brand, right? So basically, like you said, Varun, an entrepreneur is somebody who has an entrepreneurial mindset at the organization. So basically, you really need to own the project. You really need to, feel like it's your baby. You're a part of it, and you can make a difference in the organization. So just showing up with your task sheet and with your list of to-dos is not enough. You need to be stretching yourself a little bit more. Accepting challenges, going above and beyond your comfort zone. That's where the real growth is. You really need to become an asset to the organization the best way you can, and that's how you develop your personal brand as well. You gain that position of being somebody with a good reputation. So I would really recommend everybody having this proactivity in their how they conduct themselves at work. And I really want to give this one example of this friend and mentee that I have, who joined a really big organization after working at small organizations for a long time. And, she said, I'm going to, give it my best now. I am going to really go above and beyond because I want to leave a mark at this organization. So within 6 months, she rose her hand to contribute to different types of projects. She got involved around the firm, and she stayed visible. She spoke up. She, developed her expertise and also asked questions along the way. You can't be expected to know everything as well. And within 6 months, she gained such a high reputation within all the managing directors, really wanted her to be a part of their team. So I think anybody can be considered as a thought leader. They just put in a little bit of work to stay visible and build their brand consciously.
I totally agree with that, Mehar. In fact, very, very good points there. And guys, I think this time is more than easier than ever to build your personal brand. 5 years ago, it may have not been that easy to build your personal brand, but now through LinkedIn, each and every person in this world can build their personal brand. And LinkedIn's algorithm are so open that whenever you talk about anything, the reach is maximized to make sure that you reach exactly the kind of people that you want to reach. So like Mehar said, figure out your niche, figure out what you want to talk about, and more importantly, develop the skill of expressing yourself. And also LinkedIn just doesn't have to be the medium where you express yourself. A lot of companies have a lot of internal platforms where you can learn to express yourselves. Again, by expressing yourself, by talking about what you're passionate about, by talking about your projects, or by talking about the work that you're doing, not only will you get noticed by your peers, but also by your senior managers and also the senior management. And that can really, really help accelerate your career growth. Right, moving on, coming on to one of my most favorite parts of career growth, because this is applicable just not for career growth, but for entrepreneurship as well. It's networking. Now, I'm pretty sure every single one of you must have heard of this from all of your seniors, all of your peers, all of your coworkers, that networking is extremely important for career growth. But I find that a lot of people may actually end up being shy. So actually, they may not benefit a lot from networking because they may be scared or they may be apprehensive to walking up to someone and just saying hi. I think one of the easiest ways to get over this fear is to use this concept called social proof. So what is social proof? Social proof is basically identifying a small identity that you and the other person share. So for example, let's say I'm from Bangalore and I meet Mehar in an event and I walk up to Mehar and say, hey Mehar, are you from Bangalore? And turns out even Mehar is from Bangalore and we end up talking about Bangalore. Now what this does is it instantly establishes a connection. And there is a very less chance that Mehar will probably forget meeting me, right? And through that, you can exchange your LinkedIn contacts or business cards or whatever. But I think this is a great way to probably break the ice and probably get started. But Mehar, what do you think, are the ways one can figure out how to go about networking, especially to accelerate the career growth?
Yeah, I think completely agree with you, Varun. Networking is very important, and also I think this word just sounds so intimidating, right? Like
Yeah.
networking, what is it? But it's actually, just having a conversation with somebody. So right now, you and I are talking. We are actually networking in a way, right? Like if tomorrow
Yeah.
I need help with something, I can reach out to you, and vice versa. So similarly, when we actually go to, let's say, a social event, also we go to a friend's party and we meet somebody over there, a friend of a friend, and we start having a chat with them, and then eventually talk about work as well. That's also a form of networking. So I think the phrase is very intimidating, but it's actually just what we do on a daily basis. And I completely agree with you. It does lead to a lot of opportunities that we individually may not even be aware of, right? There's a very like it's actually a study that was conducted that said that 85% of opportunities are filled through networking. And that means that there may be things that people in our network, people who we know or know of, are aware of some opportunities that are not made public yet, and they get filled up because of internal connections. So I just want to talk about, when we say network, what exactly is it? It's made up of two types of ties. So there's weak ties and strong ties. So now, Varun, you and I have met, so we have become strong ties, right? But there may be somebody who like your cousin or maybe your friend or an ex-colleague or someone who is your strong tie, but I don't know them personally, right? But they become my weak ties right now. We really don't tap into our weak ties very often. So I can just reach out to you, Varun, who you're my strong tie, and I say, hey, listen, you worked with this person, and I think I'll really benefit from knowing what they're doing in their career. So can you connect us? Connecting weak ties is also very, very beneficial. Or I can reach out to them directly and say, hey, we have a common friend called Varun, right? So that's where a lot of opportunities lie as well. And similarly, in an organization also, you may be a part of a team, you may be a part of a department, but you may have friends or colleagues in other departments who have their own friends and colleagues in their departments, right? So sometimes there may be projects going on in other departments that you may not be even tapping into, you may not be even aware of. So I think about internal networking as well as external networking. So like Varun said, that there are lots of opportunities that are happening on LinkedIn and the internet. Use those opportunities, like reach out to people through maybe the chat service in your organization, or the internet, that you can literally get to know people internally. Everybody is just a message away now. So I think just keep an open mind about it, and participate in events, participate in workshops, trainings that are going around in your organization. Don't get intimidated. Like when I started, I was very very nervous talking to people. So I literally just pushed myself that I'll go for one event a month, and I'll go to this event and just talk to maybe just one person. So when I got used to it, when I started, like Varun said, connecting with people on a personal level, having that social proof concept really worked well for me. And then slowly my confidence increased. And I think another really important thing is that you cannot think of networking as just like a take relationship. I can't just reach out to Varun and say, hey, Varun, can you help me get a job? Or Varun, can you help me get a promotion? That's not what networking is. It's a give and take relationship. If I catch up with him, on a casually, on a friendly level, I can talk to him, catch up with him, and then ask him for a favor, and in return, offer to help as well. So offering to help is as important. Networking is just like any other relationship in your life with your parents or your grandparents, right? You need to invest in it. You need to put in time and effort into it. So I would just say, just remember that, participate in different things. Like, for example, I was a part of the cultural diversity and inclusion squad at my organization, as well as a business book club. If you join these different types of networking events or things that are going on, you'll get a great chance to meet like-minded people who have similar interests and similar hobbies with you. So literally, don't feel intimidated. Send people a message, go on lunch dates with them at work, or coffee chats. There's so much of information and knowledge that other people have that we may not even be aware of. And that's what networking leads to.
That's very well said, Mehar. I totally agree with that. In fact, Carter Cass has just written this beautiful book called How Brilliant Careers Are Made. And in the book, he talks about how in this day and age and in today's workforce, it's the responsibility of the individual to further their career. And he says that one of the most important things to do that is networking. So guys, please network. You have no idea how much can come out of it. Right, moving on to the other segment, which is my favorite. One of the best quotes I've ever read in my life, right? It says that the purpose of human is not merely to exist, but to live. And this is how you must treat both your professional as well as your personal lives. Think of your professional journey as one big masterpiece where you're adding one small little brushstroke every single day. And by the time you retire, you have one big magnum opus. But in order to do that, you shouldn't just enjoy and be satisfied with your work life. You should have a great and a very fulfilling personal life as well. Which is why if you want to create a great professional life, it's extremely important to have a very balanced personal life as well. Mehar, can you share some insights on this, please?
Completely agree with you, Varun. And I also want to share one quote, which is, you can't do a good job if your job is all you do, right? What happens is many times we just think, our work is our entire life. But actually our life is made up of so many other things, right? Your work or your career is just one aspect of your life. It's not your whole life. There are other aspects like, the relationships in your life, or, your health, physical as well as mental. Then there's recreation, and there's education, constant learning. And all these aspects together need to be given equal importance, because if you don't do that, you don't give equal weightage or equal importance to all of them, you'll start to getting burnt out. You feel burnt out if you're overworking, and you'll know it. Your body will start giving up a little bit. So it's important that to have a life where you have like a regular routine that uplifts your mood and make you feel a little bit relaxed. So I think relaxation also leads to greater and higher productivity. And having a hobby or a sport that you engage in that's just yours can really go a long way in balancing all these different aspects of your life. For example, if I'm having a very long and hard day at work, I make sure to go for long walks in the park. I think that really helps me calm down. I connect with nature, and when I come back, I'm ready to start my routine again, start being productive again. So I think find a way. Because of the pandemic, there have been some blurry boundaries. I would say really have some set boundaries where you take out the time to do things to calm yourself down as well, and having some kind of an outlet to balance all these aspects is very important. So visualize and create a life where your career fits into your life, and it's not the other way around.
That's really motivating, Mehar, and I totally agree with that. Guys, I hope we were able to add some value to your careers, and also I hope this was an interesting learning experience. I'd quickly like to summarize what we discussed today. We first spoke about upskilling, and like Mehar said, there are enough learning platforms that not only offer a lot of paid courses, but a lot of free courses. These include Coursera, Udemy, LinkedIn. Upskilling is extremely important because in order to stay relevant in this day and age, especially with the digital transformation that's happening, you have to make sure that you're constantly upskilling. The second thing that we spoke about was entrepreneurship and personal brand. Again, it's easier than ever to create your personal brand, find your niche, learn how to express yourselves, go on LinkedIn or your company wide platforms, talk about what you're interested in, about your work, about your projects. This will not only help you get noticed, but it will also help you rise up in your career way faster, because a lot of the senior management folks will now know who you are. We spoke about the importance of networking. We spoke about how you can use social proof to break the ice. Mehar spoke about joining possibly a book club in your company, or going for lunch dates with your coworkers, getting to know them better. Networking can help you know a lot of people, not just within your company, but outside your company as well. And again, an extremely crucial aspect for growing your career. And last but not the least, we spoke about having a work-life balance, because like Mehar said, you can't do great work if you're working all the time. So please make sure that you balance your work life by having a great personal life. This could include developing hobbies such as playing the guitar, or probably traveling, because traveling really helps me a lot to rejuvenate and helps me get even more productive at work. So probably traveling is your thing, or probably, I don't know, learning a new hobby or learning a new skill, whatever it is. I think having a very fulfilling personal life will add a lot of value to your professional life as well. And again, is extremely important for career development. I would now like to open the floor to some audience questions, and let's see if we have some questions for the audience. And after that, we're going to go into a rapid fire round with Mehar. Oh, okay. So I think we have some questions. We have a question by Naveen, who's asking, there are so many tools to learn. How do you choose the right one? Or should I have to learn everything?
Oh, what an interesting question, Naveen. Thank you for that. I think, of course, you can't learn everything. That's also not possible. I would really say that if there are many, many different types of tools, maybe start with one instead of, getting your hands dirty across all. So, for example, let's say you find one course on project management on different platforms. I would really say compare the course on different platforms and see what has the best reviews, what has the maximum number of viewership. That's a good way of judging the credibility. And sometimes, when we reach out to people who have done those similar courses, they can give us good advice as well. So I would really say, like, reach out to people and read the reviews. That way you'll know which tool to use. And also just start with one instead of doing like 5 different things.
I totally agree with that, Meher. In fact, Naveen, if I was to recommend, I think the first skill that you should go and learn probably in any of these platforms is search for effective communication. Because 90% of what Meher and I spoke about today, right, especially about personal branding, networking, even having an entrepreneurial mindset, all of these require a very strong, effective communication skill. And effective communication skill is an extremely important asset to have in 2021. I would personally recommend probably one of the platforms such as Udemy, Coursera, or even LinkedIn. They have numerous courses on effective communication. And if you can conquer effective communication, trust me, half the work is already done. We'll probably just wait for a second or two just to see if we have any more questions. And if not, Meher, be ready for the rapid fire round.
I am ready.
Guys, if anybody has a question, we'll probably give you 5 more seconds. And if not, we will go to the rapid fire round. Okay, I don't think anybody has a question. So Meher, are you ready for the rapid fire round questions?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, so tell me one book that helped you increase your productivity.
There are 2 actually. One is Hyper Focus and the other is Atomic Habits. I really recommend everybody reading them.
Oh, I love both those books. And in fact, I would really recommend Atomic Habits as well, because that really changed my life. And another interesting book that I'll just probably like to add, it's not related to productivity, but The Psychology of Money is a very, very interesting read. And if you can get a hold of that book and read it, I would really recommend it. Meher, one podcast that you'd recommend?
I would really recommend IdeaCast by Harvard Business Review. They have some interesting ideas and concepts that they discuss there.
The most inspiring TED Talk that you've seen?
Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
It's probably one of my favorite TED Talks as well. And Simon Sinek just asks a very simple question throughout his talk. Find out your why, right? Whether it's in your professional life, personal life, or any aspect in life, find out your why. And once you start searching for your why, your life will change. One movie that changed your life?
There are 2 actually, and I watch them whenever I'm feeling demotivated. One is The Pursuit of Happiness, and the other is Chak De India.
I love both of them. Are you a Shah Rukh Khan fan?
Crazy Shah Rukh Khan fan.
No wonder. What's your mantra for success?
I think try until you succeed, because sometimes you just give up after trying once. So I would really say, try again. If it doesn't, if you're dealing with some challenges, you'll overcome them. Try once again, maybe you'll succeed. One
secret superpower that you wished you have?
I actually wish I had multiple arms so I could do multiple things together, because I am a multitasker, but I don't have enough time to do everything.
I wish I had that too. One life hack to make a strong impression at work?
I think one thing that we really, really need to do, and that probably we don't do enough, is actually preparing well for any meeting, any presentation, any talk, any interview that we're, going ahead with. And sometimes I would just say, like, over preparation is better than under preparation. So just go prepared for whatever important thing you have in your diary, and it will really, really drastically increase your confidence as well during the meeting, and you'll feel better afterwards as well.
Your current role model in your chosen industry?
I have 2. One is Gary Vee and Ali Abdaal. I would really recommend watching their videos on YouTube.
Your go-to motivational quote?
My dad said this to me when I was going through a low phase in my career, which was setbacks are temporary. It just, reminds me to, like, get back up and deal with challenges.
A career hack that you'd like to share with us?
I think there are many, but I think, Varun, like you've talked about communication, I would really say focus on developing your communicational skills and practicing well. We get intimidated again communicating because we haven't practiced. So literally just write down your introduction, your elevator pitch, And when somebody asks you, hey, who you are, you have that 30-second nail down. You'll be able to speak properly because you would have practiced really well. So practice communicating your story.
That was very, very insightful, Mehar. Thank you so much. You passed the rapid fire round with flying colors. I just wish I was quicker so I could catch you on the spot. But thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. I hope Mehar and I could add some value to your careers, and some thoughts and insights on how to grow and how to develop your careers. I would really like to thank all of you for being here, and especially Mehar for joining us and giving her insights on career planning and upskilling. Thank you so much for being with us, Mehar.
Thank you so much for having me, Varun, and thanks to everyone who joined in.
Thank you so much, guys. I would see you guys in the next episode of the HSBC Lighthouse series. Thank you so much for joining us for this. And I really hope that you enjoyed the session, and hope to see you guys in the next session very, very soon. Thank you so much. And you guys have a pleasant evening. Goodbye and see you soon.